Securities involve the risk of loss.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Monty Belmonte.
And I'm Khalees Smith.
And we are in the midst of our fall membership drive. Ooh. We hope you'll take a moment to support the type of show that we do here in the Fabulous 413 and the all news and talk format here on 88.5 NEPM. I'm a huge fan of waking up and driving in and listening to Morning Edition. I've been really getting to love 1A. It's great to come out of Terry Gross on this show every day except for Friday when it's Science Friday, which I think sometimes even more. It's listener support like that from people like you that keep these programs on the air, nepm.org or 800-639-8850.
The drive is going great, which is awesome. Just a few days left, but don't wait. We can only explore the 413 together with listener support.
Maybe you're new to the station. Maybe this format flip with All Talk has brought you here a little more frequently. Maybe you're new to the show, or maybe you migrated over here with us from the other radio station. Wherever you have come from, we're glad that you're here now, and we really hope you will support what kind of thing we're trying to do, profiling the interesting people, places, and things in our neighborhood in the 413. Go to nepm.org right now, or call 800-639-8850.
And today you can pick up the brand new 88.5 NEPM coffee mug with a gift of just $60. It's gorgeous. It's this deep blue and matte, and it's really pretty. And I don't need any more mugs, but I might try to pick up this particular mug, just to complete my collection. And you can too. It's a great thank you when you become a new member by going to nepm.org or calling 800-639-8850.
800-639-8850 to get that new mug. It's $5 a month. You can become a sustainer, and you'll be part of our mug club. We'll have more on this fun drive, and we'll tell you how we're doing, how you're doing to support the kind of work that we do here coming up a little bit later in the show.
The Fabulous 413 is funded by Northeast Solar, offering solar options, energy security, and solutions for the local community. Learn more at northeast-solar.com.
And today on the Fabulous 413, we've got our regular Monday guest, Mr. Universe, Hampshire College astronomer, Dr. Salman Hameed, who's also on the board of Amherst Cinema, talking to us about Scorsese's latest outing, as well as Ronin planets in the nebula, in the Orion nebula.
Oh, like around its belt and stuff?
Yeah, yep.
So cool. But first, it's been a banner set of years for animal shelters, and one of the largest ones in the area is just down the street from us. So let's walk down the road and go pet some fluffy, cute things. Oh, and find out about the other awesome stuff that Dakin Humane Society does in the area.
We are totally pandering to you, the donors, with pets. Come on now, 800-639-8850 or nepm.org.
The down part of working at an animal shelter is everyone's like, oh, everything is so cute. I can't take things home.
Let's go hang out with some of the animals.
All right.
We are in the lobby of the Dakin Humane Society in Springfield. It is the go-to humane society for Western Mass. It's one of the most beloved nonprofits. Anytime there's any sort of fundraising campaign, always at the top of the charts is the Dakin Humane Society. Oh, really? I'll say this in the middle of our NEPM fund drive.
Shameless plug.
So hopefully keep us competitive.
Absolutely. My name is Meg Talbert. I'm Executive Director for Dakin Humane Society.
How long have you been the Executive Director?
Coming up on a year. I just passed my 1-year anniversary.
All right.
Yeah.
Talking to these people who only took their posts when we took our posts, so it's really interesting to see people at about a year while we're also at about a year.
We're all the new kids.
Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, thanks. We came mostly to just hang out with the animals first, but then we'll talk about some of the needs that Dakin is experiencing, because I've heard 2023 has been sort of a banner year when it comes to the work that you do here at the Humane Society.
Absolutely. We're seeing a larger number of animals coming in, a larger number of animals being adopted. We've increased our staff, expanded our program, so it's been quite a year here at Dakin.
Khalees gets to touch all the dogs because she's not allergic to them, and I can touch all of the animals.
Excellent. Well, we have
my meds and I have my inhaler.
All right, cats and kittens. We have some dogs here today that you guys can
touch
meet.
the kittens.
Oh, you can look at them from afar. We also have small animals here at Dakin as well.
Let's go check them out.
So to put a mask on and we'll be okay.
You can see we always have a lot of volunteers as well as our staff here at Dakin. So volunteers help us, especially feeding the animals, walking the dogs in the morning, getting ready for the day here.
About how many staff members do you have and about how many volunteers?
So we have about 60 staff members and upwards of 300 volunteers. And some of those are volunteers that come into Dakin to do work here. And then we also have volunteers, foster home providers.
I'm imagining that it's hard to foster kids and it's heartbreaking to have somebody come into your life and then maybe leave your life. Also probably heartbreaking if you try to do that with animals, but it's an important part of what you do here.
Absolutely. We actually, last year, 63% of our animals were in foster care before they were adopted. And it's so much nicer to be able to get to know them as individuals, if they need special, more quiet environments, if they need medical care, or we're watching out, keeping a certain eye on animals to learn more about their needs and the best homes. Foster care homes are able to help us with that. And it is. These foster care providers, they give so much of themselves. It's such an emotional journey for them, but they're so proud when their animals get adopted. And then, of course, we have what's called a foster fail, when, of course, you foster an animal and then you're like, oh, wow, he or she really fits into my home and I'm going to adopt him.
And then they adopt them, and that's called a foster fail?
Yeah.
That seems like a foster success.
It's a foster win, in my opinion.
Yeah, why do you call it a foster fail? Flip that narrative.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it's just incredible what they're able to do. And we have a great network of foster parents that like to share their pictures and videos and certain things that they learn about the animals that they're caring for.
So we're in what looks like a cat house, but we've been in here for a bit. I have not seen one cat. Are they ninjas?
Love to hide.
brought
Actually,
us into an empty
I'm
one.
kind of wondering. I think Lee might have directed us.
I tricked you for Halloween.
But we have plenty. Let's just take a look.
Well, that actually, you have a poster about spirit kitties, so maybe those are here. Maybe they're afraid of us.
Oh, God. Now I'm afraid of spirit kitties.
So you guys got to kind of do the down low, look where they're hiding.
Oh, yeah.
So we can see one of our volunteers is in there feeding these guys breakfast, but she's moving out, so we can come into here.
That one looks just like Morris the cat from the commercials.
Nutritious foods even the most finicky cat can't resist. 9 lives, you're my kind of workout.
So on the outside of the doors, there's all these, it's like being in a hospital almost, where there's a sheet about these cats, all beautifully color printed and everything like that. So Papa and Otis are in this room that we're going to see, the kitties.
It's Lucky the spirit cat.
What does Lucky the spirit cat mean? What does spirit cat mean?
Spirit cats are a little bit more shy. Somebody actually referred to them as a roommate that you never see. So they're going to be
best roommate.
Yeah. See, this guy's kind of doesn't even know me, kind of coming in,
Cuddling into all of
interacting.
us.
Spirit cats are going to take a little bit longer to interact with their human companions, but also might get along really well if you have other cats in the house. So.
Why spirit cats? Because they're kind of ghosty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for Halloween, but yeah.
This cat is so nice.
No, he's
Rubbing up against all of us.
very handsome.
Do you smell my kitties?
Hi. Look at you.
So we'd like to give the animals lots of opportunities to have some hiding spaces and have some room to get up or be in a private space so that they can come out and meet potential adopters when they're ready, but they have some places to go that respect their needs and their privacy as well.
Like Otis, who's staying underneath this fixed structure here. He's not quite so ready to come out for pats.
But it's great to have these rooms that adopters can walk by. They can take a look at potential animals. All of our adoptable animals are listed on our website, so people can take a look at what we have at any given time. And we always encourage people, look every day if you're interested in an animal, because we have new cats, kittens, small animals on the website every day.
And that's updated regularly? Like if you're looking at real estate listings, you can look at your dream house and you're like, oh no, that sold like 3 months ago.
That is a great comparison. It is like the real estate listing. Yeah. What's new? And also follow us on social media, because we often will pick out special animals for social media posts as well.
Nice. We're with Meg Talbert in one of the kitty colonies at the Dakin Humane Society right here in downtown Springfield, getting all loved on by this, we'll call it aggressively loving cat. Not aggressive, but aggressively loving.
Take me home.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
How many animals do you have right now?
About 300 animals in care right now, and some of those are in foster homes. So, don't always have all those at the building. But again, all of the animals that are in foster care are also listed and available for adoption, are also listed on our website. So if you see an animal on the website that says, I'm in a foster home, we just send us an email, give us a call. We'll arrange for that foster care provider to bring the animal in for a meet.
Is 300 a high number, low number, average number for the amount of animals that Dakin usually has in care?
It's been high this year. We've seen a almost 60% increase in intakes this year, all for lots of different reasons, everything from access to veterinary care to
being expensive or hard to get.
Hard to get and expensive. We've dealt with some difficult situations in the community with people with housing loss and experiencing some other economic factors that make them make the difficult choice to give up their pets, but that's why we're here, and we can have those pets find a new home and give those people the support that they need in making a difficult decision.
Lee Chambers, who's with us in the cat house too, and is the media relations director at Dakin, when we were coming in before we started to roll, there was like a heartbreaking couple. I'm going to cry talking about it. Their daughter just had kids, and the kids were allergic. They couldn't be there with the cats, and it was heartbreaking to watch them have to come here to give the cats over. But the way that I saw you and some of the other staff members here kind of rally around them through this process, I mean, this must happen all the time here.
It does. Allergies that children experience to a new pet happen more than you'd think. Families blend, people remarry and bring children under the same roof. You might find out that a dog you've had for 3 years that's been great with your kids, a kid coming into the house is allergic to.
Luckily, they had that episode of The Brady Bunch about this. Do you remember that episode?
I learned everything from the Brady Bunch.
Marsha!
I guess I was more of a Partridge Family girl. I'm
all
sorry.
right. They had a better band.
Yes.
I'd say one of the things that I see every day in our staff, and that I just have such pride in our staff, because they do see people on their highest highs and some of their lowest lows, and they're ready and to support people that are so excited to bring a new animal home and welcome a new animal into their environment, and then they deal with difficult decisions, whether somebody has to give up an animal because of a health reason or housing reason or end-of-life decisions, which we also help people through.
Well, let's go check out some more of the animals.
Yeah, I think Lauren has a dog that she...
How often do they escape from here and you end up like chasing them around the hallways?
There often is a loose cat. Go out in the courtyard and meet Penguin.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you had penguins here.
You're going to walk by our pet health center, and we can certainly talk a little bit about this new program here at Dakin. It is a accessible, affordable clinic for well care and sick care for dogs and cats that we just opened in July of 2022. We have just had tremendous success there. Amazing team just brought on a second veterinarian for our pet health center. So it's something that we're really excited about. Community members have been so grateful to be able to come to Dakin, especially people who might not have transportation, might be coming locally, walking to the clinic with their animals.
I don't think that there's another veterinary clinic before you cross the bridge. Having one here, like so close to downtown, is really, really neat. Oh, who's this good boy?
So this is Penguin.
Hi, Penguin.
And Penguin, Lauren will tell you a little bit about Penguin and her history.
Penguin is deaf.
Ah.
Hello.
Hi. Lauren Rubin, I see, who is a
Yes.
behavior coordinator for the Dakin Humane Society.
That's me. So Penguin is deaf. She came to us from Thomas J. O'Connor after being found as a stray. She's the nicest, cutest dog, as you can tell. And she actually just got adopted yesterday by a lovely couple who are also deaf.
Oh my God! I'm gonna die.
They live in Rochester, New York. Saw her on the news.
Oh my word!
One of our volunteers will be driving her across the New York border to meet them halfway.
This is the kind of stuff that every day here at Dakin.
No wonder you're at the top of the charts when it comes to fundraising.
You were the goodest girl.
Oh, come here, you.
I know you can't hear anybody, but do you want to get your picture taken? What's this? Go say hi. She's like, I want to go pee on stuff.
Yeah. Same, Penguin. Same.
The other day, Lauren and I were in the dog holding, and all the other dogs are getting excited because we're both in here, and they're barking, they're excited. Penguin, sound asleep.
There are benefits to being deaf.
Yes, exactly. She was so well rested. We were laughing because the other dogs were kind of really heavily excited, and we're talking, and Penguin could not be bothered.
Sleeping like an angel.
Yeah. What's the ratio strays that like people bring in versus people who have to, for some reason or another, give up their pets?
So we actually don't take strays directly. They go through Thomas J. O'Connor. So we primarily take owner-surrendered animals, so people who can't keep their dogs anymore. And then occasionally we'll take transports from other shelters. So when Thomas J. O'Connor gets full, what are you barking about?
What are you barking at, Penguin?
When they get full, we'll help out by taking some dogs from them. Occasionally we'll pull dogs from the south when their shelters are really struggling.
Yeah, we hear about the quote-unquote like Dixie dogs and stuff like that. I don't know, it's a questionable name. But how many animals a year come from the south?
Really depends on the year and the time. We obviously look to our region first and helping our region as much as we can. But when our dog numbers are low, we have great partners that reach out to us. They're doing a transport up here. They come into Hartford. We can often look and say, okay, we can take 3 dogs this time. We can take 6 dogs this time. So it really depends on our population numbers here.
But there's always a need. Like if you said we're empty, we could take all the dogs you've got at any time.
Yeah, and there are great transport partners across the country. So it is really nice that we have the resources, the staff, the support to bring animals from all over the country and also support the animals in the region that need new homes.
I wasn't aware of the general network between shelters that usually happened, like of trading. If a shelter thinks that it's might be a little bit better suited to an animal you might have a little bit of trouble with, you kind of just trade and hope for the best.
The great thing about the animal welfare industry is there's a lot of information sharing, there's a lot of partnerships, people want to help each other out. We may have an overwhelming number of kittens, so we're going to ship some kittens to MSPCA, and they just did a hoarding case with some mice, and they're going to give give us some mice for adoption. So we really try to...
One problem could be solved by the other.
Exactly.
Also, I can't imagine hoarding mice.
That's a difficult situation, but yeah, it's great. I mean, people really do work together because when it comes down to it, it's all about the animals and it's about the people. It's supporting the people in our community and making sure that they have access to what they need to care for the animals that they love. Penguin's off. She's not paying attention to us.
Bye.
Hi, good girl. Have fun.
I think there's people over there, whatever. Because it's more interesting over
You
here.
guys smelled stuff.
There's dirt to eat.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
I'm just a walking my dog.
Coming up more from the Dakin Humane Society in Springfield. You're listening to the Fabulous 413. I'm Monty Belmonte. We're in the middle of the fall membership drive with my friend John Sutton.
And we have our first contribution in. We didn't even get to tell people what the goal was, and they're calling already.
Yes.
This is pretty awesome.
Pets.
So pets, that's right. 9 to go, and very small children too.
Yeah,
that would
that's
be the other one.
We
maybe
are
we'll
not
pander
giving
to you with small children
We are
tomorrow
not
on the
giving
show.
away small children or animals. But
You did have a fun joke though about when you put on the fun drive all day.
and leave the dogs to themselves. They
Yeah.
learn how to beg.
Yes. 800-639-8850, please, or nepm.org.
Takes just a couple of minutes to give. I'm going to fill some time here while Khalees is laughing. We need your name, your information, how to get in touch with you, how much you want to give, how you want to pay, nepm.org. 9 calls to go in the fabulous 413-800-639-8850.
besides playing with kittens, we're doing some really great things this week. We're going to be talking with the folks behind the Lizzie Borden musical, which is going to be happening in Holyoke. We're talking to Springfield mayoral candidate Justin Hurst later on this week in our pursuit to try and talk to everyone in the contested races in Western Mass. We're also going to talk about how the housing bond bill that just got passed in Massachusetts is going to be affecting folks in this area. We're trying to cover as much ground here as possible, and your donations really do help. nepm.org or call 800-639-8850.
I'm new to the public radio thing, but what I've always appreciated about public radio and what I appreciate now being a part of it is it feels like a food co-op. You can go grocery shopping to a lot of different grocery stores, but there's a sense of accountability when you join a food co-op. You become a member. You're invested in the kind of food that's brought in, invested in the farmers. It's the same thing here on public radio. If you become a member, we're accountable to you. We want to hear from you about the kind of stories that we bring on these airwaves. It's creating a community together, and we can't do it without your help. 800-639-8850 or nepm.org.
So if you're new to public radio, but maybe not new to Monty and Khalees, you've heard them elsewhere in a prior time, why not start off by just giving $5 a month? It's a great way to become a new member of the station. We make it easy to stop that sustaining, we call it a sustaining membership at any time. And we have this great mug that we're offering. It's ceramic mug. It's cobalt blue. It has our logo on one side, the 88.5 NEPM logo on one side in orange and white, and it also says NPR for Western Mass. It's a great mug to show you're a supporter of the station. 800-639-8850, nepm.org.
And if you're a longtime listener but new to our show, The Fabulous 413, let us know you like the show. Maybe give $10 a month. Maybe let us know what you love about the show, because we'd love to know as well. We encourage that sort of behavior. You can increase your sustaining membership by just $1 or $2 and make a large difference. nepm.org or 800-639-8850.
And if you're like me and love to procrastinate, don't pay all in one fell swoop right now. Become a sustainer. Pay a little bit every month. You'll barely feel it, but you'll feel good every time you turn on the radio to know that you have been supporting us throughout the duration of the year. A $5 donation per month will get you one of these brand new NEPM mugs that we've been talking about. You can go to nepm.org and make a contribution like Allison in Northampton and Richard in Wilbraham have done, or call 800-639-8850.
Well, that means we're down to 8 contributions to go. We are doing great.
Let's double it. I want 20 people to call this hour. Come on now.
Okay. 20 and 8. Oh, you want to double the 10?
Yeah,
okay.
double the 10.
I thought you were
Double
trying
the
to
10.
double
Yes.
8 to 20, and I was going to say,
I'm bad at math.
Next week at the Fabulous 413
the
math
girl math?
lessons for Monty.
Is this... Betsy's shaking her head. It's not the girl math.
No.
All righty. So, hey, if you're new to the station because of the Fabulous 413, if you're new to Fabulous 413 because you've been listening to the station, we want to hear from you today. 800-639-8850, nepm.org.
The Fabulous 413 is also brought to you by Mass Mocha, presenting Michelle, a 6-piece collective from New York, live in concert on October 28th in celebration of the new exhibit, Like Magic. Mass Mocha,
Coming up, more with Dakin Humane Society's animal shelter here in Springfield. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on NEPM.
Shall we go play with more animals? Back inside the Dakin Humane Society with the executive director who's been here for a year, Meg Talbert, giving us a little grand tour of the place.
We may be able to peek in here, and spay-neuter surgery is, they don't have anybody out right now, but we also have a large spay-neuter clinic where we provide those services to owned pets as well as spaying and neutering all of our animals before adoption, and also working with community cats and our TNR program, the Kitten Street Team.
What do you mean TNR?
Trap, neuter, return. So colonies of cats that are in the city, we have volunteers that go out. They will trap them, bring them here for spay neuter, and then bring them back down to their communities. And then sometimes if there's kittens out there, the kittens come in and they can be adopted as well.
How come you bring them back to the communities instead of keeping them here for adoption?
Want to answer that one, Lee?
Lee Chambers?
Yeah. Adult feral cats are just not wired to have a domestic life. It'd be like bringing a raccoon inside your house and trying to live with it. They are not geared to domestic living. They don't like people very much. You don't trust them. But we have kittens that we get in from those litters. You have a window of time where you can socialize them, like between the time they're born to about 10, 12 weeks. We work with those kittens. We teach them people are good, people are kind, and we turn them around.
And they are totally betrayed by us again and again. Have you read the news?
Not always. No, so that's what we do with the kittens. Though we can turn them around. They can learn to love being a pet. But the adults, it's wired in them to be out and live their life outside.
Yeah. Live your best life, adults.
Yeah. They did their 1,000th cat this year. The Kitten Street Team helped their 1,000th cat.
So is this just in Springfield or where?
They do Springfield. They work in Holyoke. They take calls from other places. If somebody is saying there's cats that are in my garage or under my deck, they'll come and help out with those.
Wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea about that.
Our team, our spay neuter team. So these guys are magicians. They work so hard. Last year, I think it was about 6,700 spay neuter surgeries we've done. We've done upwards of 8,000. So thousands of spay neuter surgeries every year. And this team they just grind. They are so proficient and just wonderful group here.
If you're a person that has a pet and needs to be spay-neutered or get some pet health with this clinic that's just opened, how available is it? Is it drop-in? Do you need to make an appointment?
Our appointments are booking out. Our spay-neuter clinic is actually booked out until the winter time right now. So we always tell people, please plan ahead. So if you're getting a new cat or a new kitten, you're not getting it from Dakin and it needs a spay-neuter, plan ahead, get on our schedule. Our pet health center is booking out about 3 weeks for well visits and sick visits as well. So again, you can find all the information to make an appointment on our website, which is dakinhumane.org.
What's this little room? Is this like a cat and dog costume room?
This is our thrift store. So this is a great resource. All of items have been donated, and our thrift store is run by volunteers. So if you're coming here for an adoption, or you're even visiting for the Pet Health Center, and you need some supplies, you can get these at very low cost, discounted prices. All of these things have been donated, and all of the money that we raise in the thrift store goes back to support Dakin's operations.
This is a pretty great selection. Like, there's puppy pads, there's harnesses, there's crates.
There are Halloween costumes.
There are Halloween costumes.
There's a whole taco
Just
over
wait
here.
till Christmas. Absolutely.
And there's medicine too. It's really cool.
And things like that. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because those I remember from my last dog can end up being really expensive.
Right. And it is. It's really, it's people from the community. Sometimes it's sad situations. They've had lost a pet recently. They're giving up, I have some crates or I have some things that I want to donate, but those things are going to live again and they're going to be in somebody's new home and used by another animal in our community.
It's like the Salvation Meow Me.
Yes. Oh, there he goes.
So painful, it's good.
Don't stop me, meow.
Do you want to go see if there's any other small animals in the lobby?
Yeah, let's meet the
Or
small
Did
animals.
you have other areas you want to go, Lee?
We have a few guinea pigs.
It's funny because, this building is set up like an office building, and there's like a lobby and all that, but the lobby is like filled with crates and containers and animals all over the place.
It's like a medical office, but like with crates
but
and
with animals all over.
It's very windy. The first couple of weeks, I would just take wrong turns all the time. Like, I totally meant to be here. I'm like, I have no idea where I am.
So these are what? Are these mice or guinea pigs?
Mice.
there's one up here.
But that's a striped mice.
Yes, they are not the necessarily the white mice with pink eyes that you would often think about. These guys again are new. They're waiting for some adopters.
And here's a guinea pig.
That's a good sizer.
Hi.
Hello, you.
He's like, oh no, I'm being stared at.
So again, we do all these small.
Oh, here we go.
That's the noise a guinea pig makes.
He's saying hello. He wants to be part of the interview.
Here are some of the tiny spirit kittens that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, so these ones are super shy? There's this black kitten named Lollipop that is looking at me with the most adorable kitty eyes you have ever seen, licking its lips. I have got 2 black kitties at home. You should come home with me.
We have our staff and our volunteers that do a lot of socialization and enrichment with these guys. Again, as Lee was saying, teaching these animals that humans are fun and we can trust and we can interact. And it's amazing when you see, even over the course sometimes of just a week or two, how these guys come out of their shell and start to interact. And then you see them going home and getting adopted. It's incredible.
And were these ones that were found in those kitty colonies?
Very likely, yes.
Yeah.
These toothbrushes aren't for their dental hygiene, by the way. They actually use these to pet them. If the kitten is not ready for a hand on their head yet, these guys will take a toothbrush and very gently touch them lightly with the bristles on the top of the head and just start building their trust to be touched through that first.
This cat is like a literal meme.
I love cats. I love every kind of cat.
Do you see a difference between cat and dog adoption and small animals, which honestly I only recently learned that you did, like bunnies and guinea pigs and mice?
It's interesting because different people are automatically drawn to different types of animals. So there's people that identify, I am a cat person, I'm a kitten person, I'm a dog person, but then you get people that love their guinea pigs or they love their ferrets, they get so excited. People that they will hear that we have mice up for adoption and get really excited and come in. So it's really to each their own, and it's great that we are able to answer that call and have a variety of animals for people to bring into their homes.
I'm just gonna shout out that you have a pair named Hall and Oates.
Pair of guinea pigs named Hall and Oates.
She's a man eater.
I mean, perfect. Actually, all of your small animals have really great names. I can't stop looking at Pumpkin, so fluffy.
Who names the cats that are like found in the kitty colonies? Is there like a person whose official job it is to name the animals? Because this one's
Great
Lollipop,
question.
this one's Starfire, which is a cool name.
We have a list.
Yeah. All of our staff contribute. They come up with ideas. A lot of times they'll come in themes. So we've had like a T-cat theme. We've had different movies, and we just adopted a cat named Ed Sheeran.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You should adopt a sheep named Ed Sheeran.
Till we're 70.
It's great to kind of watch this and see our creativity of our staff with these names.
Oh, look at their guitar brands. Read some of those, please.
Fender and Taylor and Ernie and Gresh and Strandberg. Oh my goodness. Good job, everybody.
But if you name your cat Taylor, nobody's going to think about the guitar brand. They're going to think about...
Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me. Ooh.
Hamer, though. Where's Hamer? Come on.
Les Paul. It's a little bit too specific a name, maybe.
I don't know. A kitty or a dog named Les Paul would be pretty cool.
Just call it Les.
Before you know it, we're going to have Thanksgiving themes, so I'm sure we'll have turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and things like that as well.
Are you obliged to keep the names that you get from the kitties that you get here at the Dakin?
You are not. Most people do rename their animals.
Too bad.
I think the biggest pile out of this might be the tennis players, which is really fascinating.
I only know Novak out of all those people. I'm not a big tennis guy.
Yeah, I recognize Coco and Iga and
Pretty
Stefanos.
cool, yeah.
What are the needs of the Dakin Humane Society right now? Meg Talbert, who's the new executive director. I've mentioned earlier that when it comes to fundraising, you guys are top-notch people. The community really rallies around the mission that you all have.
It's incredible how generous the community is. People that give monetary donations to going on our Amazon wish list and buying, whether it's kitty litter or kitten food, supplies that we need. The generosity of our community allows us to do what we do every day. So we are always in need of donations, always in need of supplies. It's also a great time of year that we're coming up with a lot of, again, the generosity of the corporations in this community, people that are doing drives for us, people that are giving holiday gifts in honor of their staff. It's just incredible. It's my favorite time of year to see people come in and get excited to drop off the things that they've collected in their office. You know, again, people coming in going, my wife will kill me if I leave with a kitten. Don't let me do it.
Or maybe do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Volunteers, people that are interested in learning how to be a foster care home, or people that want to come in and volunteer here at the facility. We welcome you. We want to meet you. Please reach out.
I love cats. I love.
Thanks again to the folks at the Dakin Humane Society in Springfield. They provide an incredible service to our community, and we hope we here at NEPM are providing a service of bringing the community together. We are a public radio station, and you are the public. It takes just a few minutes to be part of what we're trying to do here, and most of the money we spend to run the station comes from listener contributions from listeners Like you, I'm here with Khalees Smith and with John Sutton during our fall membership drive.
Looking for 8 more contributions in support of the fabulous 413 on this, the antepenultimate day of this membership drive.
Good word. We'll have to bring that up with the word nerd on the ultimate day.
Well, here's the thing about that word. I've only heard it used on 2 occasions. Once is in pledge drive and the other is by lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah, no lawyers here. So anyway, at least in this room. We're asking for your contribution, 8 people, and we're looking for those 8 contributions in the next 24 minutes or so. 800-639-8850, nepm.org.
We have so many Western Mass stories to tell, not just like looking and tasting wine across the 4 counties of Western Mass, but with all of the stories that we've heard from farmers and the hardships that they've experienced, talking with new immigrant families, going to some of these museums and seeing some of the really cool exhibits that are going on there. All of these interesting stories and interesting places that we get to go to and share with you because of your generous donations. Head to nepm.org or call 800-639-8850.
And we want to introduce you to so many of the interesting people that live in the 4 counties of Western Mass, and some of whom we talk to every week, including our resident astronomer, Hampshire College's Dr. Salman Hameed, Mr. Universe, who we'll hear from in just a little bit. The folks from CISA introducing us to farmers throughout the counties of Western Massachusetts. The word nerd who we mentioned, Emily Brewster from Merriam-Webster Dictionary in Springfield, and U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern, who checks in with us every single Thursday to talk about how national politics affect us locally. Support that work. nepm.org or 800-639-8850.
McGoverning with McGovern.
Yes.
It is appointment listening.
Thank you.
It really is.
My parents say so.
What, they only want to hear you once a week?
Well, they love Mr. Universe, too.
Okay. nepm.org or 800-639-8850. Looking for 8 contributions by the end of the hour. In fact, it would be great to get 2 or 3 contributions in the next 4 or 5 minutes. That's how we meet the goals. And we have a special offer today only for a $60 contribution, just $5 a month. It's the NEPM mug. It's the 88.5 NEPM NPR for Western Mass mug. It's cobalt blue. It has our logo on it in orange and white. After today, you're going to have to give $120, twice as much, to get this, right? And so this is the time to do it. Become a new member. Pick up one as an additional gift, $60, 800-639-8850.
Every day you hear the difference on NEPM, the in-depth, unbiased news, thoughtful and civil conversations, and our coverage of Western Mass here. Stories told in a way that only NEPM tells them. It's truly the news and things that matter to the area. If you've never given before, now is the time to invest in NEPM. It's your support that ensures that we can cover the issues, chase down facts, keep you up to date each day with the stuff that is happening right here. Choose a monthly amount, maybe $5 or $10 a month, and become a new sustaining member of NEPM. Head over to nepm.org or call 800-639-8850.
When you turn on your radio in your car or your kitchen, it comes to you for free, but it is not free to make it happen. We need your support to make it happen, and one easy way to do that is to become a sustaining member. For as little as $5 a month right now as a sustaining member, as a gift, we will give you this new NEPM mug. But we know that you want to give for reasons other than that. We know that you count on this station for news, information, and entertainment to get you through the good times and the bad. Become a sustaining member right now at nepm.org or call 800-639-8850.
The membership drive is going exceptionally well. We're going to be ending on Wednesday, and we try to keep these drives as short as possible. One of the ways we do that, meeting our hourly goals, looking for 8 contributions in support of the fabulous 413. If this is becoming appointment listening for you, we ask that you support it. And remember, today only, for a $5 a month contribution, we'll send you our brand new coffee mug as our thank you gift. After 6:30 today, the pledge level goes up to $120. 800-639-8850, nepm.org.
And frankly, when you donate, tell us where your favorite pizza spot is, because our suggestions have dried up.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but like when you donate to the station, let us know what spot we should hit next on Pizza Quest.
How far are you willing to travel?
All 4 counties.
All 4 counties.
All 4 counties.
All 4
right.
counties.
Yeah.
It's pizza after all.
Exactly. And we've had very little representation in 2 of those counties. So Franklin and Hampshire County, like, step up. Donate to nepm.org or call 800-639-8850 and let us know where we should be eating pizza next. The Fabulous 413 is funded by Mass Health, reminding listeners that Medicaid renewals paused during the COVID pandemic are restarting now. More about restarting and maintaining Medicaid coverage at masshealthrenew.org.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413.
to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hampshire College astronomer Dr. Salman Hameed, Mr. Universe, here at your kitchen table in Amherst for some kitchen table astronomy and some film critique, as you are on the board of the Amherst Cinema, which is one of the places you can see Martin Scorsese's new 3.5-hour long epic film, Killers of the Flower Moon. It says moon in the title, so astronomy is related to it. Another natural tie-in here. Before we get into what we're going to talk about astronomy-wise, which is free-floating planets, which I thought we were all free-floating, how was the new Scorsese movie?
So this is really interesting. Thank you, Monty, for bringing the moon part in it, because I was like, can I tie in some science fiction reference, some sort of like Martin Scorsese? Has he done anything in the past? And I was like, no, it's really hard, but I really wanted to say, please, and see this film.
Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth. They outsmarted everybody. They have the say who gets the oil.
Yes, it is long. It's 3.5 hours long, and I wish it was a little bit longer.
Wow.
Because the story is amazing. It immerses you. It's tragic. It's about Osage tribe in Oklahoma. They struck oil. They got very rich. And they were moved from Missouri. That was the whole thing. They were sent into a place which would have nothing, and they got oil. But then a lot of the people didn't like the fact that Native Americans were rich. And the story is about what happened around that time. This is set in the early 1920s. You also have Tulsa race riots at the same time. This is a really important film. I think this is one of the best Martin Scorsese films, which is saying a lot. I mean, of course, Raging Bull or Goodfellas. I mean, there are a lot of other films, Taxi Driver. I was not a big fan of The Irishman.
Me either.
But it seems like a personal film to him. And representation-wise, I think he has taken a lot of care to tell the story right and to place it in the context of the native tribe as well. I know it's 3.5 hours long and people are going to I don't want to go and see it. No, go see it. This is an important part of American history, a part of American history that is often and had been ignored, had been covered up. I'm so glad that it is now being part of a really amazing film.
From the flower moon to our moon and other things in outer space, what are we talking about astronomy-wise today?
So James Webb Space Telescope, I mean, that's an easy thing, sort of
every day something the James Webb Space Telescope is seen.
I'm tired of James Webb. Oh, no, we're not.
Never be bored before stars.
No, so it is a new instrument. And so whenever it looks at places, it's telling you something that's different. This is new. And recently it looked at one of the most beautiful objects in the night sky, and that is the Orion Nebula. It is a winter sky object, so soon it will be sort of in the evening skies in a few months, but right now if you can stay up a little late, you can actually see it. It's part of the Orion constellation. Below the Orion's belt, there is Orion's sword, and there you have a fuzzy patch. If you have a binocular or a small telescope, you can see that. And the reason it is fuzzy is because it's a nebula, it's a gaseous cloud in which a lot of stars are forming. The full cloud is actually much bigger than the full moon, the area that it covers. In fact, double the size of the full moon. But this Orion Nebula is a tiny part where young stars that have already formed, these are big stars, because of their light and radiation, they have in some ways blown a cavity through it. And you can actually see inside the nebula. So that is actually really cool, and it has beautiful colors. If you see pictures of it, it's reddish in color. James Webb Space Telescope also has a beautiful image in there. And it's a stellar nursery. So you have young stars. It has been studied a lot. Perhaps the most studied nebula in the night sky because it's relatively close. It's about 1,300 light years away. And so we know if you want to study stars, you can look into that. But it's a gas cloud. So gas and dust is in there. So with visible light, it's actually hard to see through the cloud or what is going on in there. But James Webb Space Telescope looks in the infrared, and it can pierce through some of those clouds. But what it found is something that we had not even expected. And what it found was about 540 free-floating objects, which are closer to the size of Jupiter.
Most planets, or these free-floating objects, are in an orbit around a star. a solar system. These are free-range planets.
Right. So astronomers have discovered some of those before, and they think that those were ejected from a planetary system. That's how we think planets form, that when a star is forming, around it there is a disk. It's called protoplanetary disk. And there some parts of that coalesce, some material coalesce around it, and it forms into planets. Big ones, Jupiter, Saturn size, and then small ones as well. And so when astronomers have found some of those free-floating planets, meaning to say planets without a star, they thought that, well, they got ejected from the star system and they formed in the same way. But here, it's about 9% of these planets they found, the James Webb Space Telescope, are actually binaries. They are orbiting each other. And in fact, astronomers who discovered them, they actually called them jumbos, Jupiter mass binary objects.
I like that. That's a good name.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Dumbo would have been even better, but no.
Jumbo? You mean Dumbo?
So jumbos, and that really forces you to think, wait a minute, they would not have been ejected as a binary system. And that really forces us to think, how were they formed? It could have been a random alignment, because in astronomy, when you are taking a picture, you're just taking a picture of it, right? So you can have, maybe they're not exactly orbiting each other, but maybe they just happen to be close in sight. But astronomers think that for that, you would have expected a couple of percent, maybe 3% or so, just statistically, to be in the appearance of binary. But here you have 9% of those. So they think actually these are real binary planets, and these are Jupiter-sized. And it looks like they may have formed that way. Monty, you would say, but wait a minute, but how did they get formed? We have no clue.
Wow.
So there are some substar objects, which are called brown dwarfs. Brown dwarfs are objects that are about 13 to 15 times bigger than the mass of Jupiter. They are not called stars because you don't have hydrogen fusion in it. In fact, there is deuterium fusion that heats them up. But below that, astronomers didn't think that you would find objects that are by themselves. And they formed by themselves. But now it seems like there is a whole range of objects that keep on going in smaller sizes. And there is a very intriguing idea of how they might have formed. One idea is that they got ejected. Somehow they found each other and they got into a binary orbit. A love story. But
it's like a same-sex love story, because instead of having a star and a planet, it's two planets. I'm kind of like moved by this.
That's right.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Except that it looks like that may not be. I mean, it's very unlikely. Okay. But one idea is that these were actually going to be stars. But remember I mentioned that big stars have excavated a cavity in the cloud because of their radiation, because they have a lot of ultraviolet radiation. So they actually evaporate gas. So one thing they do, which we knew beforehand, is that these big stars, when they form, so they themselves have formed, and their radiation actually starts to evaporate some of the gases in the nebula in which they were formed. And that can actually stunt the growth of other stars that are forming. It doesn't let other stars keep on getting gas to become bigger, and they can stop their formation, or they can stop them from being bigger.
Now it's like the secondhand smoke of planet formation. I like the same-sex marriage version better than the secondhand smoke version of it.
But here is the case. So in this particular case, one idea is that these were stars, and half of the stars that form are in binary systems. I mean, our sun is sort of like just by itself, but half of the stars are in binary system. So one idea is that these would have become binary stars, except that those bad, meanie, big stars,
smokers,
they actually avoided them becoming a full star, and now they are binary planets, Jupiter-sized planets. So that's a fascinating thing. Why is it interesting? Well, we didn't know these existed. And the reason James Webb Space Telescope could detect them, one, because it could peer through the gas and dust, and also because these planets are still young and they have quite a bit of heat inside of it, which actually emits in the infrared. So they are not reflecting. That's one of the reasons why just free-floating planets is really hard to detect, because planets, usually the way we detect them is by their reflected light. Here, in this case, they actually have 1,000-degree temperature, for example, inside of them because they are still young, and James Webb Space Telescope could actually detect them.
Even though we've looked at this Orion Nebula so many times since the invention of telescopes, this is all brand new information just because of the way James Webb works in this infrared spectrum as opposed to the way that other telescopes work.
Right, and you also need very high resolution. We had infrared telescopes, but you need to identify these dots in the nebula, and James Webb Space Telescope can do that. So apart from infrared, it also has high resolution. And this is the beauty of these kind of instruments, that you point the same instrument that humans have looked at, sort of like, all the way from post-Galileo, right? Interestingly, Galileo did not note the Orion Nebula, but soon after, actually, people had seen, hey, what's the fuzzy
up there?
And it had been noted before. Of course, they didn't know the nature of those objects. You can study a lot, but you look at it from a different wavelength, different type of light, different type of telescope, and you learn new things. There is another interesting thing that maybe you can think about it, and that is our sun formed in a nebula similar to the Orion Nebula. I mean, in these kind of systems, you form several thousands of stars. Our sun, we don't know where the siblings are because over 4.5 billion years, we've all spread out and stuff. But our sun formed in a similar type of system. But that means that there may be many, many, many more planets that are distributed in the galaxy, which we don't see because they don't have a star next to them. Humans talk about going to other stars, and you go like, even Proxima Centauri, it's about 4 light years away. That's quite far. But there may be planets in between. We can actually find these objects, these bodies. If we get better in terms of detecting them, it will be very hard to detect, but maybe if we get some other, in the future, telescopes to detect them, maybe there are many planets around it that are available for planet hopping too close to get to a star system we can get. And then the other thing I was thinking was, now that we know moons around planets like Jupiter can have water on it, and that has to do simply with the way you don't need the sun. The heat doesn't come from the sun that makes it water, but rather their orbit around the giant planet. And you can actually have the interior that has liquid water ocean like Europa or Ganymede, or for Saturn's moon Enceladus or Titan. Maybe there are all these planets out there which have moons around them. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to leave it next. I mean, we think right now that for complex life, for intelligent life and things like that, you probably need solid surface and things like that. Who knows? But it just opens up a whole class of objects that may be filling up the galaxy between stars. We don't know them, and here they are. They exist. But we now, with James Webb Space Telescope, we at least know they get formed in a star system, and Orion-like systems are aplenty. And most of the stars, like our sun, formed in such a system. So there must be planets like these as well.
Just when you think the Orion Nebula has done everything good that we could possibly learn about it, it has a couple of fizzled out movies like The Irishman. Lo and behold, late career, amazing work from the Orion Nebula.
That is absolutely correct. So the final lesson is, please do go and see Killers of the Flower Moon and see it in the theater, because it is also a beautiful film.
Tomorrow on the Fabulous 413, we'll continue our efforts to speak with everyone running in contested mayoral races in Western Mass, and our next candidate will be Justin Hurst, who seeks the position in Springfield.
We'll also find out about the Youth Performance Festival as it forays into Hampden County. We'll talk to Kelly Silliman of Youth Performance Festival and Devere Cockett, who's one of the program's mentors, about the new collaboration it's got with Make It Springfield.
Thanks to the tireless Fabulous 413 team, and we're going to skip out of here so they can maybe say nice things about us, but a huge thank you to Stephen and R&T in New Braintree, who wants to say that at first I did not like the station, but I am liking it better. I do like the station covering the farming portion. Like to know this is a trusted news source.
We like covering the farms too.
800-639-8850 or nepm.org. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.